My daughter stood in front of me, hands shaking. "Why didn't you ever tell me the truth?" I whispered, "Because I was trying to protect you." She took a step back, eyes filling with tears. "Protect me? You lied to me my whole life." My husband looked away, silent. My daughter took a deep breath. "I found the papers, Mom. Now tell me, who is my real father?" It was a quiet Sunday afternoon in our suburban home in Raleigh, North Carolina. The sun filtered through the blinds, casting soft patterns on the living room floor. I was sipping my tea, lost in thought, when my daughter, Samantha, burst into the room, her hands trembling. "Why didn't you ever tell me the truth?" she demanded, her voice quivering. I looked up, startled. "What are you talking about, sweetheart?" She took a deep breath, her eyes welling up with tears. "I found the papers, Mom. Now tell me, who is my real father?" My heart sank. The secret I had buried for over 2 decades had finally surfaced. Back in the early 90s, I was a young woman navigating the complexities of life. I met Michael during a summer internship in New York City. He was charming, intelligent, and had a smile that could light up a room. Our whirlwind romance was intense, but short-lived, as he had commitments overseas. Shortly after he left, I discovered I was pregnant. I reached out to him, but his letters returned unopened. Feeling abandoned, I moved back to Raleigh and reconnected with David, a childhood friend who had always been there for me. When I confided in him, he didn't hesitate. "We'll raise this child together," he said. David and I married, and he became the father Samantha knew. We decided it was best to keep the truth hidden, believing it would protect her from the pain of abandonment. Samantha stood before me, the papers clutched in her hand. "I deserve to know the truth," she said, her voice firm. I nodded, tears streaming down my face. "You're right. Michael is your biological father. I thought I was protecting you, but I see now that I was wrong." David entered the room, his face pale. "I always knew this day would come," he murmured. Samantha looked between us, her expression a mix of anger and sorrow. "I need time to process this," she said, turning and walking out the door. Days turned into weeks. Samantha's absence was a constant ache. Then, one morning, she returned, her eyes determined. "I found Michael," she announced. "He's living in Chicago." I was taken aback. "How did you DNA testing?" she interrupted. "I reached out, and he wants to meet." David looked down, his hands clenched. "Be careful," he warned. "People change." Samantha nodded. "I need to do this, for me." Samantha traveled to Chicago, where she met Michael in a quaint cafe. Their conversation was filled with laughter, tears, and stories of the past. Michael expressed regret for not being there and a desire to be part of her life. Upon her return, Samantha shared her experience. "He's not perfect, but he's trying," she said. I felt a mix of relief and apprehension. "I'm glad you found closure," I told her. David struggled with the new dynamic. He felt his role as a father was being overshadowed. Counseling sessions helped, but the tension lingered. One evening, Samantha approached him. "You raised me, taught me right from wrong, and were there for every milestone. You'll always be my dad." David's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you," he whispered. Our family began to heal. We established boundaries and open communication. Samantha maintained a relationship with Michael while cherishing the bond with David. I learned that secrets, no matter how well-intentioned, can cause deep wounds. Honesty and transparency became our new foundation. Years later, at Samantha's wedding, both David and Michael walked her down the aisle. It was a testament to love, forgiveness, and the resilience of family. 6 months after Samantha's wedding, things were finally calm. David and Michael kept a quiet peace, each playing their role in her life without stepping on each other's toes. I had started to breathe again. Maybe, just maybe, we were through the worst of it. Then I got the letter. It was shoved under our front door. No name, no return address. Just one line. "You think you've told her the whole truth? Think again." My stomach dropped. I read it over and over, trying to make sense of it. I didn't tell David. Not yet. I flew to New York the next morning. I needed answers. See, there was something I never told anyone. Not even David. Right after Michael left, there was a short window, just a few weeks, when things were messy. I was young, confused. There was a man named Victor. He was complicated. I barely remembered him, but something inside me started to itch. What if Samantha's real father wasn't Michael? I tracked down an old friend who had worked at the same internship. When I mentioned Victor, she blinked. You mean Victor Grant? The guy who got arrested? I froze. Arrested? For fraud. And other stuff. Real sketchy guy. Vanished in '94. Back home, I dug through the attic. Through tears, dust, and regret, I found an old diary. Mine. The pages were stained with ink and memories I thought I buried. Victor had been obsessed. Possessive. I left him and never looked back. But one entry chilled me to the bone. He said if I ever tried to tell anyone, he'd make me pay. Said he knew things about Michael, about my family. I'm scared. I don't know what's real anymore. I sat in the attic, shaking. What if the letter wasn't just someone playing games? What if someone was watching? I asked Samantha for a favor. Told her we should double-check the DNA test from Michael. She raised an eyebrow. Why? Are you hiding something else, Mom? I smiled softly. Let's just be sure, honey. For peace of mind. A week later, the results came in. Michael was not. I told David first. He sat down, hands clasped, his eyes wide with disbelief. So who is it then? I told him everything. About Victor. About New York. About the threats, the fear, the shame. David stood up and walked out of the room without a word. Later that night, Samantha came home. Her eyes puffy, red. Michael's furious. He thinks I tricked him. Tears spilled down my face. I didn't know, baby. I swear I thought it was him. I never wanted this for you. She looked at me, expression unreadable. So what now? We just go find this Victor guy and see if he wants to be my third fake dad. 2 weeks later, we found him. Victor Grant was living under a different name in Wichita, Kansas. He ran a used car lot. Married. Kids. I sat across from him in a coffee shop, my heart pounding. He didn't smile. I knew you'd come back someday, he said. I need to know if she's yours. He stared at me, then chuckled. You still don't get it, do you? You don't want me near that girl. Why? Because I'm not done with you yet. After that day, weird things started happening. My tires were slashed. A brick came through our front window. No note this time, just silence. David installed cameras. Samantha moved in with a friend. Michael offered to hire someone for protection. That's when David snapped. Michael's back again? Playing the hero. I'd never seen David so angry. You still love him, don't you? After everything? I shook my head, voice shaking. This isn't about love. This is about keeping her safe. David packed a bag that night and left. Didn't say where he was going. A week later, Samantha got a message from an unknown number. He's not who you think he is. Ask your mom about the $20,000. She stormed into the house, holding up her phone. Tell me the truth. What money? I swallowed. Victor paid me to stay quiet. A long time ago. Before you were born. You took money from him? After everything he did. I used it to raise you, I whispered. I didn't know who else to turn to. She walked out the front door and didn't come back for 3 days. David called me. I found something, he said. About Victor. And Michael. I met him at an old motel outside town. He had a folder full of old documents, receipts, surveillance photos. Turns out, Michael and Victor were once partners. Not just friends, business partners. There had been a lawsuit in the '90s. Money laundering. But Michael got out just in time. Victor didn't. So maybe it wasn't an accident that Michael left me back then. Maybe it was a deal. The puzzle pieces were clicking into place. Victor blackmailed Michael. Michael disappeared. Victor came after me instead. Then years later, Michael reappears, just in time to play the savior again. I felt sick. And Samantha? She was caught between three men who had all lied to her in different ways. She came home one night, looked me straight in the eyes, and said, "I don't want any of you in my life right now." She packed a suitcase and left again. The house was too quiet. No laughter. No footsteps. No slamming doors. I sat on the porch every night, hoping I'd see her car pull up. David stopped calling. Michael blocked my number. Even Victor's silence felt louder than before. Then one night, I got a letter in the mail. No name. No return address. Inside was a photo. Samantha. In a hospital. Unconscious. And on the back, one sentence. "You really thought this was over?" I dropped the letter as if it had burned my fingers. The photo haunted me, the tubes, the machines, Samantha's pale face. I called every hospital in the area. Nothing. I called her friends. No one had heard from her. Then a blocked number rang my phone. "She's in St. Mary's in Wichita. Room 418. Don't bring anyone. Come alone." The line went dead. I flew out the next morning. David begged to come. I told him no. At the hospital, the nurse at the desk gave me a strange look when I asked for room 418. "That room's not on our chart," she said. I shoved the photo across the desk. "Look at her face. She's here." "I know she is." Another nurse walked over, her voice low. "Follow me." She led me through a back corridor, past locked doors and quiet halls. Finally, we stopped. Room 418 was a psych observation room. Samantha was awake. Her eyes met mine, tired, red, but not broken. "Mom," she whispered. "I did this." I blinked. "What do you mean?" She pulled her blanket tight around her. "I faked it. The hospital didn't know. Victor helped me. We staged everything." My chest tightened. "You what?" I needed time. I needed leverage. She handed me her phone. There were recordings, conversations between Victor and Michael. They'd been meeting. Secret deals. Money passed under tables. Pictures of me. Of David. They had been watching us for years. And then she said it. "I think they killed someone. Back in New York. That's why Michael ran. That's why Victor can't be exposed." I flew home that night. Clutched that phone like it was a ticking bomb. David came back. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. "I've been following Michael. He's meeting someone. In Charlotte." I played the audio for him. His face turned gray. "We need to go to the police," I said. "No," David said. "Not yet. We need proof. More than just words." I didn't want to believe it, but deep down I knew. This wasn't about Samantha anymore. This was about all of us. A week later, David was gone again. No note. Just an envelope taped to the fridge. "I'm doing this for her. For us. If I don't come back, don't trust anyone. Not even Michael." Inside the envelope were bank records. A secret account in my name. Deposits from a company owned by Victor, dating back 10 years. David had been hiding it. My knees buckled. Had he been working with them? Or spying on them? A burner phone buzzed in the drawer. One I hadn't touched in years. A text flashed across the screen. "Come to the old cabin. Bring nothing. Trust no one." It was a number only one person had, my sister, who died 5 years ago. I knew the cabin. We used to go there every summer as kids. It was 3 hours north, deep in the Smoky Mountains. I drove all night. When I arrived, the door was ajar. Inside, David was tied to a chair. And Victor was standing behind him, holding a gun. "Glad you came," Victor said calmly. "We need to talk." I rushed to David, but Victor raised the gun. "Sit. I have your secrets," I said. "I know everything. The accounts. The recordings." Victor laughed. "You think this is about money? Or even Samantha?" He leaned forward. "This is about Michael. He turned me in back in '94. I went down for both of us. He got out clean. And you came after me because of that? I asked. No, he said. I came after you because he never stopped. He's still running cons. Still laundering money. And now he's using your daughter to get close to me. David groaned, struggling in the chair. Tell her. Tell her what Michael's planning. Victor nodded. Michael's not her real father. But he wants to be. Because her trust fund, set up by your mother's estate, is tied to a family DNA match. My mind raced. If Samantha believes he's her dad, Victor said, he gets access. Legally. And the hospital photo? Michael staged it. Not me. I stepped back, cold all over. You've been chasing the wrong monster, Victor said. Then, in a blink, David pulled free from the ropes. Now, he shouted. Gunshots exploded. I hit the floor. David tackled Victor. The gun skidded across the room. I grabbed it. Victor gasped, reaching for his side. He's lying to you. David's voice was ragged. He killed 2 people. I have the files. He kept it all. I held the gun steady. Tell me one thing. Just one, was Samantha ever safe? Neither of them answered. The police took them both. I drove home alone, exhausted. There, waiting on the kitchen table, was another envelope. This time, inside was a USB. It was labeled, for Samantha. From her real father. I plugged it in. It was a video. A man I had never seen before. Older. Kind eyes. Quiet voice. My name is Richard. I met your mother once. Just once. In California. I never knew about you until recently. I wanted you to know. I've always wondered about the child I never met. If this reaches you, I hope we can speak. My hands trembled. Everything had been a lie. She didn't speak to me for weeks after the video. Not a word. She moved back in, kept her head down. Work nights. Slept during the day. There was something brewing in her eyes, anger, grief, something darker. One night, she finally said it. I want to meet Richard. Her voice was cold, flat. Are you sure? I asked. She didn't answer. They met at a park in Denver. I went with her. Richard was kind. Soft-spoken. Seemed nervous, like he knew his presence might make things worse. I don't expect anything, he told her. Just wanted you to know I exist. Samantha looked him over. Why didn't you ever try to find me? I didn't know about you, he said quietly. That answer didn't satisfy her. I saw it in her eyes. She didn't hug him when we left. Michael was dead. It happened so suddenly. Found in a hotel in Nashville. Overdose, they said. Some said suicide. Others whispered darker things. I didn't cry. David didn't go to the funeral. Samantha did. She stood alone in the back, arms crossed. I watched from a distance. As the casket was lowered, she whispered under her breath, "You almost got away with it." Weeks after the funeral, a package arrived for Samantha. It was full of cash. Tens of thousands. Bundles. Along with one last note from Michael, "It was all for you. Every scheme, every risk. I wanted to build something for you. Even if I had to lie to your mother to do it." Samantha's hands shook. "Do I burn it?" she asked me. I said nothing. She took the money. And disappeared for 2 weeks. Victor went down hard. David turned over everything: documents, files, hidden drives. Victor was arrested in Atlanta, charged with conspiracy, fraud, obstruction, and accessory to murder. The news splashed it everywhere. His family vanished from public life. But not before Samantha paid his wife a visit. She didn't tell me what was said. Only that she left a folder on their doorstep labeled, "Read this when you finally ask yourself who you married." David came home one night, eyes red. "I lied too," he said. "I kept secrets. That money, I knew it was dirty. I used some to pay off the house. I told myself it was for you and Samantha. I didn't say anything. I loved you," he whispered. "But maybe I loved the idea of saving you more." He left that night. I haven't seen him since. It was taped to the fridge one morning. A simple white envelope. My name in her handwriting. "Mom, you lied. You all did. But I get it now. Life doesn't hand you truth. It hands you stories, broken ones, twisted ones. And you try to survive inside them. I used Michael's money to start a nonprofit. For women like you. Women who get caught in the web of powerful men. I named it The Surface because truth lives underneath everything, buried under what we want to believe. I don't forgive you. Not yet. But I don't hate you either. I'm just done with all of this. I need to live my life now. Not the one you planned. Mine. Samantha, now I sit here, alone in the house I once thought would raise a perfect life. Michael's dead. Victor's in prison. David's gone. And me? I'm free. But freedom isn't always peace. I see their faces in my dreams. I hear Samantha's voice in the quiet. And when I look in the mirror, I see the woman who kept the first lie that started it all. Yes, I wanted to protect her. Yes, I wanted to save her. But I also didn't want to face who I really was, a scared girl who made a choice and built a tower of lies on top of it. Now, the tower's fallen. And the dust hasn't settled yet. Samantha was last seen speaking at a domestic violence awareness event in California. Her nonprofit grew rapidly. Victor's trial became a national scandal. David changed his name and moved to Oregon. He sends Christmas cards. Nothing more. And me? I tell this story as a warning. Not all villains wear masks. Some wear wedding rings. Some smile sweetly. Some look just like you, and just like me. Because the worst lie is the one you tell yourself.